Hello, good evening, and welcome to the LFC Daytrippers midweek fix, but it's a midweek fix with a difference. We're going to go back to our old tried and tested fantasy draft, where we're going to build the ultimate player, but it's not going to be as simple as picking your favourites here, there, and everywhere. There's going to be a few rules and regulations to get us through. So I'm the host, Keith, and I'm joined tonight by Grizz, by Seany, and by Davo. Three of the best in the business for pulling these teams together, not putting them under any pressure, but I think we'll expect to have some cracking players. And I'm not going to get let out now the bag, but Goran Pandev may make an appearance tonight. I'll be shocked if he does. Gentlemen, how are we feeling about getting these teams together? Grizz, how are you feeling? You confident?
Yeah, I was very confident at the start, but that was about 5 days ago. I am now.
It was only announced the other day.
I am now after you guys have tried to explain the rules to me, and now that I see I'm up against three Irish fellas, I always get stitched up somewhere along the way. Shawnee, you laugh, but you're part of the crew. You know, I will get stitched up somehow. But I'm fairly confident that my team will be very decent, as long as we don't get into Macedonia territory, you know. So let's see how it goes.
That's your territory, in fairness, so that's up to you. Seany, what about yourself? How are you feeling?
Oh, you could probably ask me in 5 minutes when I find out all the stipulations. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff being thrown out in these quizzes over time was absolutely scandalous. But we'll see. I'll be put to the test, definitely.
And Davo, this is your first time joining us for one of these. How are you feeling? Are you the dark horse in this race? Or...
No. I think with it being Masters Week and the golf and all, if I had a bet now, the bet would be on me to finish last in this now.
Just make the cut. Just make the cut.
I suggested Davo for a reason. So knows football.
To stitch me up must be the reason.
No. You know ball, mate. You fucking know ball.
Right.
He's got us down as finishing fifth, by the way, people, like Liverpool in the league. So he knows.
An honest and decent fifth. Why not? So we'll run through the rules and stipulations. This isn't going to be as horrific as our previous little drafts that we did, where there was loads of little traps and all. We did have it set up much harder, but a certain person kept sort of moaning and complaining about I don't want this and I don't want that. And I'm not going to name them, but Grizz was an absolute nightmare in the build up to this. By throwing every idea out of the house.
You wanker.
So what we're going to do here, lads, is we have picked 6 sections for players, right? So we've got passing, we've got heading, we've got touch, we've got shooting, we've got brain, and we've got tackling. We're going to put the lads have all got a position now that we decided before we came on. So Grizz is going to be first, Seany is going to be second, and Davo's going to be third. And what the boys are going to do is they're going to pick a number, and the sections are mixed up on each one. So Grizz will give me a number. He'll get one of the topics, and he'll have to pick a player into his fantasy team with that attribute. But he'll also have to give me a letter between A, B, C, D, E, and F. And there's going to be 3 right foots and 3 left foots. So the attribute that he picks is going to have a corresponding foot. So the player he picks will have to be either a predominantly right-footed player or a predominantly left-footed player, which might make it a bit difficult. Hopefully. We did have loads of other things about nationalities, only one nationality, but it might have been a bit of a tricky one if we'd have gone with that. So we decided to lollipop that one on Grizz's demand. But this is what we demand. So this is what we have. We've got 6 topics, and then the left and right foot attributes. So the boys are going to try and make it won't, as Grizz pointed out, it won't be the ultimate player because there's going to have to be a few sacrifices here and there. But they should be able to manage to muster up some decent quality between the 3 of them. And at the end, we're going to put the teams up on the Twitter and go to a vote and see who wins. We might have to do something around Grizz's manipulation of these voting systems. That it's been absolutely horrendous in the past. Donald Trump runs a fairer bleeding election than Grizz can. But we'll just have to hope for the best.
Keith, is this gonna be? Can I just ask the question because I'm after listening to that now? Are we gonna be creating a player here, one player or a team?
Well, it's gonna be a team, Shawnee. But the idea behind it is really, if you had a player that had, your shoulders, my hair, Grizz's beard, and Davo's all-around personality, you have the ultimate player, that way. So we'll see, it's more about the attributes, but whatever way we want to go at the end, we can see, and when we're picking the players to add into it as well, it's going to be an all-time. It's not current players, so you can pick players from any generation, and you can give a bit of a reason and an explanation. What are you moaning about now?
No, I'm not. I'm moaning about like the way Shawnee asked that question, and he's spot on because I thought he's the ultimate player.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, that's what it is. Yeah, I thought you were looking for it to be the ultimate team there, Shawnee. So it's the ultimate player. That's what we're calling it. So it's the attributes are what we're looking for, lads. So you make the attributes.
So it's not going to be like position.
No. It's only 6 players. There's only going to be 6. So you're only going to have 6 players that will make up,
I'm with you.
Brain.
Then our your 6 then? Who we think the best 6 is that makes up the one player?
Do you understand, Shawnee, mate? Do you understand? Just make sure you understand. That's it.
On the ball, I'm worried.
I've got it now. I've got it now.
You just worry about your own team, Grizz. You just worry about yourself in this. So, yeah, like I said, we'll give a little explanation on why I'm picking that player for that attribute, and at the end, we'll bang them up and go to the vote. So we'll get started because these things tend to run on. Won't be as bad because we're not doing full 11s. It's only 6. So Grizz got the 4th shout. So Grizz, I want you to give me a number between 1 and 6 and a letter between A and F.
1A.
1A. So Grizz, you have to give me a passing left footer.
Passing left footer, yeah?
Yep.
That's rotten.
Lefties are always hard, aren't they?
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the most creative players are usually sort of lefties, right? They say that.
Left, right?
Lefty.
Should I be writing down who Grizz picks here, Keith? What do you think?
Yeah, because that's a good point.
Because you can't pick the same player.
Yeah, so if Grizz picks a player, he's off the board.
Right.
But Keith usually looks after that for me because I tend to forget. I'm gonna go for. Oh, yeah, I got a good one. I'm gonna go for Redondo.
Fernando Redondo, and you sure he's left-footed?
Oh, 100% he's left-footed. Please
That's
don't
a shout, isn't it?
It is a shout. Now, you see, any younger listeners may not have heard of Fernando Redondo.
Oh, fuck them. If they don't know Redondo, my
Google
God.
them.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I think you need to Google them.
Educate yourself. What a footballer.
Yeah.
There's going to be players in this that you may not have heard of, and that's why I enjoy doing these things, is that you
guys, do you remember Redondo's move against Man United at Old Trafford?
Oh, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, a little chop.
Yeah. Oh, that was beautiful.
Henningberg for a hot dog. You had to pay back into the ground.
That's one of them. Berg should have been given at that one.
Yeah.
Get me out here.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
That's a fucking brilliant shout, Grizz, not that?
That's a shout and a half, to be fair.
No, that's all right.
I'm sweating now already, and it's not even a shot yet.
So Grizz is going for the Real Madrid and AC Milan stalwart from Argentina, Fernando Redondo. Cracking show. And that's what we hope to get, these little nuggets, these little players that people may not be overly familiar with. And then, if you're a listener on this or you're watching, Google some of these players. There's going to be some absolute talents in this these lists. I can just tell by the panel we have on tonight. So Grizz is going with Redondo. Shawnee, give me a number between 1 and 6 and give me a letter.
6B.
6B. So Shawnee's going to give me a tackling left footer.
Oh, that's rough, isn't it?
That's a stinker.
That's a fucking rough.
That is horrible.
Stinker.
That's horrible.
Trying to think, so you instantly go to left backs, don't you?
Very good there. Left.
I like the tactics.
Ashley Cole, probably the best left back of all time.
Oh, relax with that shout. Relax with that shout.
He could be. He's the best one ever playing the Premier League.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that. Yeah.
I mean, I suppose when you think about it, and a lot of fullbacks over the last 30 years were made, and actually Cole was a great attacking fullback, but he was very good defensively as well, wasn't he?
1v1, he was excellent.
Yeah, I mean,
in fairness, I don't think he was as attacking as the ones now. He was for his time. He was very much attacking, but I think he wouldn't be as attacking as Robbo, for instance. I wouldn't say.
I thought you were going to say
that's the way the game is played now.
I thought Shawnee was going to say Julian Dix. That would have been a shout for tackler.
Yeah,
left-footed tackler.
Fucking fish tackle.
Ashley Cole, that's a great shout, Shawnee. Another good shout. Davo, we're going to come to you now and get your first one out of the way.
So what, a number and a letter, is it?
A letter, yeah.
Right, 3B.
3B. So you're going to have a right-footed player whose touch you want.
Oh, straight. I think I got the easiest one there, Shawnee. I think I might have. I gotta go Zidane.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
I gotta go Zidane.
It'd be criminal not to, wouldn't it?
Listen. I'm sure the younger viewers have seen it, but Jesus, some of the balls.
Do you know when do you know in Family Fortunes and you get the top answer?
Yeah,
That's the top answer there.
You wouldn't be winning many fucking rounds on pointless with that, Davo.
No, definitely not. I'm grateful for that one though. That was a bit of a gimme.
But what it takes it down off the board for the lads.
Is France off the board now? Because
no, we're good there.
I wanted that the countries would be gone to make it a bit harder, but as I said, someone we won't name, Grizz, didn't want that all these.
I'd end up with fucking Jussi Jääskeläinen.
But it's Zidane is the ultimate. My little fella, he's only 6, and he's mad into watching YouTube videos of not of all footballers. They do this 4-4 tunes thing. It's cartoon things of all footballers.
Yeah.
I'm mad into Zidane now because he plays him on FIFA and all that. But he thinks he's only famous for headbutting Materazzi. Like, that's all he knows him for. And I'm like, no. Watch the videos, son. Watch the videos. He's just an amazing player, wasn't he? Where do you rate him? I'm going to ask you, where do you all rate him in the greats?
It's hard, man.
Shawnee's going in at number
4.
You changed it. It's like that.
Yeah,
it's
because now
literally
it's hard.
Yeah.
I think that the 4 best footballers of all time is Messi, Ronaldo, Maradona, Zidane. That's for me. And then if you're going 5, then you're looking at who probably R9.
Pele as well.
Ronaldinho.
Bleeding age.
Yeah, you could go on all night, but like
he's top 10. He's top 10. Yeah.
It'll fly on tonight, and we've not fuck all else really to talk about. But I remember the first World Cup where I was fully engrossed in was the 2006, and I think he came out of retirement to play in that one, did he?
He was sort of at the end of his. He had retired. There was not a shit show of France in the last
Brazil in the quarterfinals. He's playing against midfield, Gilberto, Kaká, Ronaldinho, and everyone was talking about this is Ronaldinho's tournament and Kaká's tournament, and Zidane absolutely bossed it. He was absolutely unbelievable. Like, it make you fall in love with football watching it.
Yeah,
just an incredible player. Like, unbelievable.
It's one of the best performances, isn't it, in the World Cup history? Was Zidane's individual game against Brazil.
And the thing is, like, we're doing this thing tonight on 5 attributes. Davo's gone with touch there, but you could have him in nearly every single category. You know what I mean? He's one of those players. Like, he's so good.
Yeah, really.
People forget how big and strong this fella was as well. He was a 6-foot beast, and he was massive. And trying to get the ball off him was near enough impossible. And you know what they say about sort of, great feet for a big man. This guy was huge. He was 6 foot plus, wasn't he, Keith? And barrel chested and massive shoulders. And he's like his touch. I was trying to think, because I know we said it's a walkover with Zidane and touch. I was thinking of who comes close to him.
There's a few.
Yeah, and I was going to say there is a few.
Yeah, you won't be stuck.
Yeah, but this guy just, if you could just draw a painting of elegance and touch. You draw a picture of Zidane, and to just describe it, he was that game you talk about against Brazil, Keitho. Oh my God! If there's any doubts of Zidane, go and watch that game or highlights of it. And all those players that Brazil had, and he's the one who stood out. Mad.
The Portugal semi-final with the golden goal in Euro 2000, he was just ridiculous.
But he had balls still, didn't he? You know, it was in that Euros, didn't he? He beat England with a free kick and a penalty, doesn't he, at the end?
Yeah.
Gets the golden goal in the... Does he get the golden goal?
He gets it's a penalty, isn't it?
Yeah, and like World Cup final, he's getting goals. Champions League finals, you know, the big games. Zidane standing there. Ben Ebbett threw in there that he was a bully with finesse, and he was like the strength of a bull, but the grace of a ballerina. Like he was.
But Chris Brack, our resident listener and viewer, absolute stalwart of the chat, and he makes a brilliant point about THIAGO. You know, THIAGO, when it comes to touch, he's up there, boys. I know it's recent, and it's probably we're talking about the greats, and we're talking about old times, but THIAGO is in the convo.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Can't argue with that.
I've given ideas there. Fuck it, we're giving ideas away.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the beauty of these shows, is the comments that'll be flying in. If you're stuck, you know, the lads will just throw in a lot of names in there that might get you out of a hole as well if you're stuck. So very knowledgeable bunch. We say it all the time, but a great shout there by Davo. I think it's a good start, a solid start here on this one.
Everyone's a sort of solid start there.
Yeah, no Gordon Panders, which is always
not
nice. Not yet. I'll give it time. Grizz, I'm going to come back to you for your second choice. So, number 1 and A are gone.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2B.
Of course you are. And that is going to be the brain and a left footer. Now, bear in mind, right, just before we go on, without giving Grizz an extra helping bit here, remember the foot that you've used, because you've 3 of each. So, if you think you struggle with left footers or right footers, you know, try and...
Well, this is my favourite attribute because to me, innit? So basically, this was my favourite attribute. Like, brain is, I love it. The intelligent footballers. Because I was one myself. And...
Wing mirrors.
But left-footed with brain...
You're struggling. I can't believe it.
Oh no!
This is him.
No, I'm not. No, but see, Shawnee, there's a lot of great footballers with loads of attributes, but you're talking brain.
Oh my! You are digging there in the lower reaches. I could see it in your face.
No, but
Paul Konchesky was hard.
No, but I don't want to use that Messi in this, but I think I'm gonna have to be. Yeah, I'm gonna have to ruin the rest of your teams and say, because you could put Messi in this as well. Because I was going to go for, a certain Raul, but I'm going to go with Messi and ruin all your teams. You can't pick Messi.
Yeah, so you can get the next best though.
Messi and Redondo,
an Argentinian connection there, Grizz. Is there a team developing in your selection?
Well, it certainly looks that way, but I think they're the only two worthwhile Argentinians after the one that someone's going to get, and that's it after that.
I don't know. There's a few more in there. But look, Messi, he was never going to stay too long, especially when you're looking to get left footers off the board. Lads, I'm going to drag some of this out and just talk about certain players as they crop up, right? So Messi, I think he's the greatest player I've ever seen. I don't think it's even close. Some people will have the argument about Ronaldo. I don't even think it's an argument. Do you think he has much left in the tank? And Sean, you'll come to you on this one. Is there much left in Messi, or is the shit starting to wear on him now at Barcelona?
Yeah, absolutely. You can see now what's become evident in the last couple of years is that he's picking up these niggles now and little injuries that are keeping him out for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, and that sort of happens towards the back end of your career. But when you look at how important he is to Barcelona, it just again highlights just how good he is, because he's probably carried that club now for the best part of a decade, and they're considered one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he's carried them on his own. I know he's had some great players around him at times, and great coaches, but look at it now, it's all gone to shit. And where would Barcelona be if they hadn't got Messi at the moment? They'd be in a fucking bad place. And trust me, if Barcelona hadn't got Messi hadn't got Barcelona, he'd probably be in a far better place himself.
Yeah.
Playing football elsewhere in a system that suits him. Because imagine he'd have got him out of the City. Now I know people say, "Oh, he would have got kicked around the Premier League." Imagine him with that in that side. Imagine him pulling the strings in that side. Imagine him going anywhere. Like him and Ronaldo, far above, beyond anyone else in the world at the moment. And then he's on another level again, and he's still doing it. Even at the age. But look, he is on a decline now. We're starting to see the next generation of players coming through now, like Haaland and Mbappe. So, like, the passing of the torch has probably already happened, if not sooner. Then
they've done an awful job. Like, they've neglected them probably for the best part of 4 or 5 years there. The transfer policy has been absolutely shambolic. Haven't got the players around them that you need to. Now, Luke Shawnee said there, he's carried them for the best part of a decade. But for the last 3 years, maybe, he needed to be carried himself and just let him do the magic when the magic needs to be done, and let the rest be able to do it when he doesn't need it. But they've signed so badly that he needs to basically do it to be beating the likes of Celta Vigo and all these fucking shy hog teams. He has to do it to beat everybody.
But that's the reason why he made the fuss that he did, and he foresaw this. You know, everything that the fans complained about. Messi was a Barca fan, and he complained of the same things, and awful signings. But he knew this, and as Shawnee says, I know he's been decorated with so many brilliant players in the past, but some of the players he's had to play with in recent times, and he still carried them. He's still the standout. He's still performing. So it's not as easy as some people make out in terms of playing with great players, but he stands out a mile. He's the greatest player, in my opinion, as well.
Look, Messi's compared to like the likes of Maradona and Pele and stuff, right? And like, I talked to my old lad, and he said you'd never see Maradona on your telly 7 days a week. You'd probably see him once every 4 years at a World Cup, or if you are lucky, you might have seen Italian highlights. Every single game Messi has played in his career can be micro-analysed. Yeah. Every week for the last 15 years, maybe. Remember, he burst on the scene against Chelsea in the Champions League, and your man Del Horno nearly killed him. Yeah. Like, ever since then, he has been micro-analysed every single week. And look, you can say the same for Ronaldo as well. And his level never dropped. Like, last year was considered a bad year for Messi. I think he had 40 goals and 30 odd assists. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's the consistency from them two is absolutely mental. It's impossible to say never, but it's very likely we never ever see the likes again of a Leo Messi.
It's true, and one of the things I'd say that Ronaldo cottoned onto very early not early in his career, but sort of when he started hitting 30, was that he needed people to do his work for him. And Messi never, I don't know if he ever learned that, or he never took it on himself, or Barca never accommodated him. But even at international level, Ronaldo has his Euros in the bank with Portugal. He wasn't great in that tournament. As a team, they got him over the line, and that gets him, checked. That's his international tournament. At club level, he knew it was getting a bit of a slog at Real, so he gets into Juventus, where it's a league league medal every year, and it's just going to extend his career and extend his career. Whereas Messi probably hasn't done that, and it's probably shown a bit the state that they're in now, and the players they're signing and the players they're linked with, and it's not going to get better anytime soon. So it's, hopefully he can pull it out of the bag, because he's just an amazing player, and as Shawnee said, we'll never see the likes of it again. But look,
yet with all that, it took the comeback in Anfield to stop him getting another Champions League. You know what I mean? They'd have pissed on Spurs in the final.
Oh yeah,
and
easily.
Like, it took that great night for him to stop him not getting another one. You know what I mean?
And then what he does to us in the home leg, like
outrageous.
This is supposed to be a fella who was not at his best. I mean, look, you could do a whole show on fucking superlatives about Messi. You wouldn't waste a minute, you know what I mean?
And Ian McLaughlin throws a comment in there, as good as Messi as I feel Maradona was better. But something Shawnee mentioned there was Maradona, you wouldn't see him as much. Messi, you see everything. Maradona only played a handful of European Cup games as well. You know, Napoli didn't qualify for the European Cup. He won the World Cup, and back then the World Cup was a big thing. And since then, it's been sort of in decline. European Cups maybe weren't as glamorous. But when you see Messi's churning now 6, what do you got? 5 Champions Leagues, and it's still being held against him that he hasn't won an international thing. It's hard to compare from different eras. Maradona got kicked around the place as well.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have any slander on Maradona because I'm old enough to
different time.
Yeah, I'm old enough to sort of seen him play loads, and I grew up in the Maradona era. I was a wee kid, and but I was still
up in Scotland, was it?
I was still a footballing kid. I was still a footballing kid. All right, and Maradona was genius, lads. And you talk about the kicking up and
he was
absolute fucking genius, man. But yeah,
we'll talk about him in a minute. Yeah. Don't worry, we'll talk about
someone's gonna pick him surely.
Yeah, he's gonna be in here somewhere. So next up, I'm back to Shawnee now. So Shawnee, you've got 6 and B are gone for you.
1A.
A right-footed header.
Simple.
Oh yeah.
Simple. The greatest header of the ball of all time. Get Ronaldo. Cristiano.
Get Ronaldo.
You're using him for the heading.
Yes. The great, he's like an NBA player.
Yeah, he is.
In the box. He's a joke. He's you look at some of the highlight reels he's had just from headers alone. Yeah. I know, look, you could go with a defender and you could say someone like John Terry or Ramos or something like that, but
Ramos would have been a shame.
Miroslav Klose is there for 1 year if that ends up popping up, and he'd love to head on the World Cup. But Cristiano Ronaldo, the fella had wings. He still does. Like, he's still doing it for Juventus week in, week out. The amount of headers, like the one in the Champions League final against Chelsea, he has one against Roma as well. Yeah, sure. Cavallone, yeah. I suppose I could have went with him, yeah. I suppose. Duncan Ferguson, who I just read has scored 8 goals or something, big games, fucking everything. He's a legend, yeah. He's wearing playing Howard Kendall slippers still to this day. Fair play to him, he's big up. But Ronaldo.
He would hang in the air like Jordan. That's a very brilliant similarity.
Yeah, he's like an NBA player. He's a joke. He's a freak. He's a freak human altogether.
It's hard to think of other players because, you know, different eras. If you're going into older players, the good headers of the ball, you know, where the big beanpole stockings of shite, like Niall Quinn, like Alan Smith, you know what I mean? Like
Alan Smith was a fantastic.
I tell you what, Jay Cattle there is a great Niall Quinn. Like, I know people might scoff at it, but unbelievable header of the ball.
Brilliant.
Yeah. 6'5", you're gonna win a lot of them header. I don't know, Crouchy probably wasn't there.
Crouchy used to close his eyes going up the head of the ball. Okay.
But you'd have those type of players, they're not as obviously they're a different body shape and all than Ronaldo, and you're not gonna really look at the slow-mo with them, you know, in the air as they do with Ronaldo. But there's not, you know, it's hard, you'd be hard pushed for a better attacking player to go in there, and we've given Messi a bit of a chat, lads. Is Ronaldo just unlucky and I'd say fucking gutted to be in the Messi era that he's not the standout player of a generation? Some people will argue, but
but Keith, you're gonna say that, but then when they hang it up, he'll have as many Ballon d'Ors as Messi. He probably have more trophies. And I think Messi's a better player, but you can't really say he was unlucky. He definitely competed. I think they were both better for having each other around, for sure.
That's what I was going to say. Is it a Federer Nadal type of thing that they just push each other and they'll have as you say, there'll be 6 Ballon d'Ors versus 5 Ballon d'Ors, 5 Champions League versus 5 Champions. You know, it really is going to be so. I done a comparison of them at the start of last season. Their goals and assists for their career, it's so tight. They're so similar. I just think
but then when you look at them, they're kind of on the opposite end of the scale. As in, one thing you can't say about Ronaldo, he must be the hardest working footballer maybe of all time. looks after himself, gets himself into that shape, just works his stones off. He's just dedicated. Like that's what has him at that level. Messi is different. He's probably more God-given. Obviously, he works hard as well, but you can see it for the size. It has to be God-given when you're that size for you to go on and do what you're doing in the game. But Ronaldo, my J's, he must be I'd say he's the hardest working footballer ever.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah. Can't argue with that. Cannot argue with that at all. It's you know,
in a world that James Milner doesn't exist, maybe.
yeah. They were up on number 7.
I bet you Ronaldo won't have a fucking door named after him at Carrington when he goes back to United.
And there you go. That's all we need to know. That says it all. But it is, look, he's off the board now for heading. It's a sensible move by Seany because it gets him Ronaldo, it gets him in the air, and it takes the option.
That was a sly one.
I like it. Davo, we're up to you again. So you've got 3 and B are gone for you. So
we'll go 3D. Sorry, 3 is gone, is it?
Yeah.
So 2D.
2D is a tackling right footer.
Oh, tackling right footer.
A little bit easier than the left footer one.
Mate, the brown envelopes going on here. Davo's
getting a noise, isn't he?
Get a noise. That one. Gerrard popped into my head there kind of straight away with that one. Who else am I kind of thinking? He's kind of tend to go hard tackling players. Right foot. Well, Roy Keane, Patrick Vieira will be 2. I think I'll go Roy Keane.
Shane's building the fucking ultimate midfielder.
Yeah, that's it. And that could be the way through this, you know. It could be the way.
It was between him and Gerrard, but I leave Gerrard out there for maybe something else. But
you could have actually done this on position because I know you're a fan of the NFL, Dav. They're doing a big thing now every week on Sports Center where they bring in current NFL quarterbacks and they're building the ultimate quarterback throughout the years, like so. Yeah, and it's been good, like. But I think if we are building an ultimate midfielder, you'd be hard pressed now to find 2 better than Dav has there.
The only issue so far with the picks is that you 2 have the 2 fancy, bleeding, shiny names in Messi and Ronaldo, So Davo's up against in the fact he's going to look for the 1990s votes to come in and give him.
Yeah, he's like being Bernie Sanders there. He needs to yell about it.
Yeah,
100%. But yeah, great choices. Roy Keane, Zinedine Zidane. It's a formidable. And it's something he touched on with Zidane was that he was known as a creative player, but he had so many other feathers to his bow. And
Keane is very much
the same. Yeah, his other attributes get overlooked, don't they? For the fact that he was just a shouty, tackly type.
Yeah, now he could get forward, he could get a goal. You know what I mean? Obviously,
at Forest, Forest, he wasn't attacking midfield. He was a fucking rampaging box to box, like proper getting into the box. He was amazing at Forest.
But his passing was very underrated as well. Like he ticking.
I'd probably get slaughtered for making this comparison, right? But I was saying. Gary Neville saying there on an off the ball show that Roy Keane was Ferguson on the pitch, like, you know what I mean, and that's Jordan Henderson for us. Jordan Henderson is Jurgen Klopp on the pitch for us, you know what I mean. So
absolutely,
like Roy Keane was a fucking monster. Like, obviously, whatever happened in Saipan happened. Like, that's a kind of worms don't need to go into, but like an unbelievable midfield. Would have started in every single side in the world in his pump.
Oh yeah. And that's the biggest compliment you can pay him. Simple. That he'd be the starting DM in every team in the world.
And every top player would love to be beside him as well, you know, because you know what you're getting. People are throwing in the likes of Gattuso and all in there. And Gattuso was a bit of a headless chicken player. He was a decent player.
You got to remember. You got to remember the attributes. We're just talking about. Yeah. Forget Gattuso the player. His tackling was fucking immense. So I get that. I get these shouts. You know, we're not looking at the play. We're just looking at the one attribute this player had above anyone else. So, you know, Mascherano was an immense tackler. You know, he wouldn't lose the tackle. Do you know what I mean? So Cannavaro,
Mascherano's a great shout because the excellent thing about Mascherano was he could tackle. He was a hard tackler, but he was a quick little fucker as well. So he'd catch players and tackle them. You know what I mean? Like that was his main attribute. But he'll still be on the board if anyone wants him. And again, names are getting thrown out into the comments, and there's loads of great shouts. I don't know if you're looking at them, lads, but there's loads of shouts in there for players that you might need to stick in other areas, So look, Roy Keane's a great shout. We're back to the Grizzler. So 1, 2, A and B are gone. 3 C. You're going to go 3 C.
Yep.
Heading right footer.
Heading right footer. So Shawnee chose Ronaldo. Heading right footer for me. Pele was great in the air, People forget Pele was great in the air.
Pele is famous for his header against England that he missed. So
all right, fair enough.
He scored in the final in 1970 with his head.
Unbelievable save.
Yeah, Pele was a banger though. Pele used to play under 18s when he was 26, for fuck's sake.
Pele, right? Pele has over 1,000 goals in his career.
Counting the ones out as back garden though.
Escape the victory and all, he counts them all, right? But like when Pele was playing, in fairness, there was such big corruption, and not corruption, but in Brazil in the 50s and 60s, they just were all about making money. So Santos used to go on tours, and Pele used to, because of him, they'd cash in, they'd be going
Globetrotter stuff like.
Yeah, Globetrotter stuff. They were playing the league games, but they dropped league games and all to go on a lucrative tour. But he'd be playing against like army sides and the Navy and all, and he'd plunder in goals. And they were exhibition games. He'd play against, Brazil, and Santos would be going and playing exhibition games.
But he fucking, what age is he when he scored? He scored a hat-trick in the World Cup final at 17, or did he score twice or something?
He scored twice in 58 final at 17.
Sweden, wasn't it?
Yeah, including that one where he flicks it over the head.
Your man's head, yeah.
He was an amazing player. He gets overlooked an awful lot, Pele.
Why didn't he play? Is that why he didn't play in Europe, Keith, then? Because Santos just wouldn't let him go? Like, was it one of them jobs?
It's a bit of a mad one. Like, he was at Santos, and South American football, like back then, it was decent, but like you're going through Real Madrid winning 5 European Cups when they started in the 1950s.
Yeah, but they bleeding used to invite teams to that.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't. It gets overplayed a bit, you know what I mean? But they had a bit of a Galactico team. They had like Alfredo Di Stefano, Ferenc Puskas. They had Paco Gento. They had all these superstars in that Real Madrid team in the 50s, Raymond Koppe, that they could have, brought in the South American. Now they did. They brought in Didi, who played for Brazil as well. He came in I think in 57 or 58 into Real Madrid. But Pele never seemed to be an option. I think it was too much. I think they couldn't get him out of there. Eventually, he went to Cosmos in New York, when that was all about the dollars. But like Pele played 17 to 58 World Cup. He goes to the 1970 World Cup and he retires. So he's only 29, nearly 30 when he retires. He's very short career, you know what I mean? But he scored so many goals and played so many games, but he was run into the ground a bit. Very, like, if people are interested in Pele, read up on him. For younger people that don't know, you just think of him, he's a Viagra ambassador or whatever it is he does these days. But if you read up on him, like, his career is outrageous. But we haven't picked him, so we won't we'll give him Grizz loads.
You're going with Pele?
No,
he's just thinking.
He just started a 10-minute conversation on him for nothing.
He knew we'd go on a tangent. Like that.
No,
they're writing down names out of the comments.
No. It comes down to two. But I'm thinking politically here, because I won't win the vote if I pick who I want to pick. It's come down to Ramos or Gullit, and I'm going to go with Ruud Gullit.
It's a great show.
Just because Ramos won't get me the vote from the LFC family because they hate him. But Ramos in the air, he's ridiculous. He's a
proper politician, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I am. No shame. No shame. So I'm going to go for Ruud Gullit. That should pull me in some votes.
That's
and
a great
of course,
show.
He was an absolute monster in the air as well.
It'll be interesting to see if the boys are as politically inclined as you, or if they'll just go with the common sense vote. But sure, we'll see. Sure, the only one left we're heading now is Davo. So we'll see if he agrees with those choices of Sergio Ramos or if there's someone else. But Grizz, that is a good shout. Real goal, great in the air. A good big fella as well. Great choice. Seany, we're on to you now. So 1, 6, A and B are gone for you.
2D.
2D is touch left.
Who's gone?
Yeah, there's another obvious one, isn't there? Like you could say Rivaldo. Rivaldo was fucking magic, but
Rivaldo,
yeah, you can't overlook THIAGO though. You can't look on the Maradona. Like you don't even have to go into like games. Just type in "Life is Life" Maradona on YouTube and watch the video of him doing the volleys. That's all I have to say.
Puts it on, I'll just sit and watch it.
Yeah, it's one of them. It is one of them, isn't it? Like, whenever you scroll across that in your timeline on Twitter, even if you'd only seen it a week previous, you'd look at it like he was. Yeah, Maradona was mesmerising, and he completely like kind of. I know Pele came before him and all that, but he was one who, similar to Ronaldinho, you could just see he played the game for the people, sort of like he played a certain way to appease others. You know what I mean? He just enjoyed the game. He played the game for enjoyment, and took the piss out of all the best in the world. Like the goal against England, the touches. Just flicking the ball away here and there. Has to be Maradona left-footed first touch. Absolutely ridiculous. I would have, if I had went on the right foot there, I know I probably would have went with someone like Berbatov. I think seeing him in the Prem for years, they only done, but Bergkamp, yeah, but Maradona, like just type in YouTube "Life is Life" Maradona and have a look at that video. If you've never seen it, you need to see it.
It's amazing because all he's doing is he's doing keepy uppies, but he's got a lace tied around his waist or something, doesn't he? And I think it's a UEFA Cup is it Napoli against Bayern Munich or something? His
boots are only half on; they're hanging off. I don't even think he has socks on. He's just
laces are about 4 mile long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, and he's zinging the ball 70 feet in the air, and it's like remember Ronaldinho was zinging off the crossbar in the night guard, and it ended up being fake. Like this is before all of that camera trick show. He was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, Maradona.
Yeah, and it's a mad one, like, because it's just like I said, he's just doing keepy uppies, but I never overlook it when it's on. And it's like I said, I think it's a UEFA Cup game against Bayern Munich, and that's why Life is playing in the stadium. Opus, I think, sang a German crowd, and it's just everything about it. It's brilliant. But Maradona, right? I'm gonna waffle about Maradona for a minute as well, because I tend to waffle about these old players. Maradona has this image of being a cheater and a bit of a bleeding head case and a druggie and this, that, and the other. And the poor fella's not in a great state at the moment. But when Maradona came onto the scene, like, he was a child prodigy. He was getting wheeled out at the start of games and all as a kid doing keepy uppies in Argentina. He went to Argentina's juniors and all that. But he was literally carrying a nation on his shoulders when he was younger. And it wasn't that he was indulged by managers or anything. Like, he'd take the rap for players who got into trouble in squads and all that. Maradona took the rap. You know, if someone was late coming home and it wasn't Maradona, he'd take the blame and all. And he was only young at the time himself. He had great leadership in him. And it was only really when he went to Napoli that he first started on the Charlie when he was at Barca. But when he went to Napoli, that was his fucking downfall. That was it. That was the doom for him. You know, he started rolling with the bleeding, the Camorra and all that. He was fucked. But my God, Maradona, the documentary and all about him, it's just, again, you just watch it. The fella was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah.
One of the best you'll ever see. Like, and people would say, when we talk about Messi and Ronaldo now and again, younger people will be probably watching us and they'll be saying, Messi's the best, Ronaldo's the best, Ronaldinho, Zidane. Like, Maradona played in an era where they could kick the bollocks out of you. And they did. Antonio Guigachea, the butcher of Bilbao, broke his leg. Like, there was absolutely kicking.
That's why he volleyed him in the face, didn't he?
The Copa del Rey, he got them back.
And he was gone after that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think he's only had 2 years at Barcelona, but he was injured for one of them because he got broken up. But he was such a fucking a great player in an era where he could literally get bleeding slaughtered. And anyone
and that hasn't forget the ball would have held every bit of water as well, and the pitches were like mud bats, and he's skipping around the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some of the videos have come out of the training grounds and all in Napoli that he'd be on, and it was like bleeding something out of Mad Max. Like it was broken bottles and all on the bleeding ground.
Maradona to go down there like to Napoli, you were like it's like going to Derby County and winning a league and a couple of leagues, and you away for cup as well. And you away for cup as well.
Have you ever been to Naples, lads?
No, I'd love to go. I'd love to go to that ground for the game.
Like, I hope there's no bleeding Napoleons, Napolitanos in the look. A spade. It's fucking rough as toast. It really is. And he pulled that whole city out of the ditch, out of mire. Like, that's known as the arsehole of Italy. Yeah. That's what it was known as. And when you go there now, the strands of his hair and little lockets boxes on the side of the road and stuff, like, he's a god. He is a literal god in Italy. Like, you look in that documentary, I think it was in Italia 90, Italy played Argentina in the quarters or the semis.
Semis.
And the stadium was full of Napoli fans supporting Argentina.
It was in Naples, wasn't it? It was in Naples, but Maradona played on that. Now the only thing with that was it was half and half. Like, he got half of them up for it, but if this had been 2 years previous, there wouldn't have been a doubt. But Maradona, he'd sort of had a few run-ins at that stage, but he was unbelievable. People only see him, and you know, as I said, this madman with the bleed and all sorts of carry on since he retired. But my Jesus, this fella.
Imagine he was sober.
Yeah, exactly like this.
People forget that. It's true. Yeah. You can't quantify all these things that we've talked about. How even greater he would have been. We've talked about these mud pitches and his mud baths and the boots and the footballs and his lifestyle. No real coach being able to tell him what to do or control him.
Imagine Maradona now playing with a Nike size 5 with a nutritionist looking after him 5 days a week, getting rub downs and training and playing on carpets. Like,
that's why when people talk about Maradona, I just go quiet. It's the quietest I go. I just love people talking about Maradona because he was that great. You just want to listen to things about him. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, fucking hell, Seany's got him.
Yeah. It's looking good for Seany.
Seany, I think Seany might have won this already. Yeah,
relax.
Plenty of them. Yeah. And speaking,
gonna end up a fucking Stephen Rice football brain for fuck's sake.
Exactly. That could be a slip. That could be a panic when we're bleeding, rushing you to pick his players because we're running out of time. But however, Davo, we're on to you now. So you've used 2, 3, B, and D. So give us something else.
Give us 1E then.
1E, please.
Is it Davo's turn? Is it? You sure it's Davo's turn or not mine?
Yeah.
You have 3. Seany has 3, and
just checking.
Yeah, 1E never do you, Davo.
Trying to stitch me up, he is.
No. They've got history, these Irish lads, Davo.
Right, Davo, you've got the brain and a left footer.
Oh, left footer brain. Oh, yeah. I've got one of mine now. I don't know whether you need. Do I just go straight in with the one that I have, or throw out a few? Left-footed brain.
Up to yourself.
Think about it.
I'm probably thinking Hadji. George Hadji.
What a show.
Yeah.
Absolute love him.
Yeah.
Are you going with Hadji?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hadji. Yeah, I'm going to go with Hadji.
It's going to be for the younger vote. The popular vote, you don't have a chance. But, you know, between me and you.
This is mine is an article in 442, I think, Keith.
Yeah, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, what a left foot. Kind of the bit I seen of them was really like around USA 94 when they were a good side, Romania then. Do you know what I mean? They had Dimitrescu, that goal he scores from the halfway line against Colombia as well. Like, what a player. And end up like you're talking about Maradona dragging a club out of mire. Like he done it with Galatasaray for sure. I think it might be their only European trophy, beating Arsenal on penalties that time. and stuff like that. Just what a left leg.
What was the attribute? Brain, Keith.
Brian,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
just way ahead of everyone else. Absolutely way ahead of everyone else.
The only way I remember him is because the older brothers had an N64. He had International Superstar Soccer, and his name was Peggy. Peggy, because he couldn't have the real name, so everyone used to say Pig Peggy. Yeah,
but you'd see how frustrated he'd get with everyone else because you could not be on his level of speed of thought. You couldn't. And he used to sometimes show it visibly as well. But, whoa, man, that's a great shout, man.
It is a great shout. I mean, I think he only had like size 6 feet, little fucking hooves. Do you know what I mean? And he was absolute pinging balls, shooting, he played like a rocket. And he played for Barca. Did he play for Real as well? Was he one of them that played for both of these?
Yeah, he played for both of them. Yeah, he played for both of them. Yeah.
Now, not one to another. He went from Real to Brescia to Barcelona, but he was in the dream team era in Barcelona. Like Georgie Hadji was a great player. That's a cracking show.
What's it? They called him the Maradona of the Carpathians, didn't they? That was his nickname.
That's the one. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. It's not a bad nickname.
And he was like Messi, where the right leg was just there as an aid, visible aid, just to see that you got to, that was it. His left foot was it was absolute out of this world.
Well, like
he's shooting. He could have been down as shooting because he had one of the best shots fucking around. If that was an attribute we had up.
Being in passing as well, like he's a blade.
Oh, yeah, everything.
Outrageous. His nicknames, right? Yeah, the Maradona of the Carpathians was one of them, but the Commander and the King are two of his nicknames. That tells you sort of what you need to know about a player like Georgie Hadji. Again, Davo's going for the old 90s team. It's a great team. Some people might have to YouTube some of this stuff, but
do we have a bit of is SALAH in that bracket now, like with Egypt?
Oh yeah.
Like,
what do you mean? What do you mean? Like in terms of,
like, you think of footballers who like transcend sport in that country and really lift it to the next level, like, and I don't know, like, I never watched Hadji, but I think the technical side of Salah's game is massively underrated. I think we don't see it enough at Liverpool. Obviously, he's playing outright, but I'd imagine Salah would make a hell of a number 10 as well. Yeah. Whether he's on the level of them lads now, I think probably is a bit of a stretch. But
when the question came up for Keith and Davo, and he was thinking, I was thinking left foot brain. I was thinking it's tough. Obviously, after the ones that we've named, I don't know if anyone's going to get it, but I'm just going to say it because for me, he's one of the most intelligent players because he wasn't the quickest, he wasn't the strongest, he wasn't the tallest. But fucking hell, was Raul clever or what?
Yeah.
I mean, Raul was so intelligent because of those attributes. He didn't have none of them were outstanding for him. Bless him. Physically he was, okay, whatever. But
just sharp in the mind.
Yeah. Absolutely unreal. Anyway, we're back to Grizz, and I'm assuming you're going 4D.
Correct.
Tackling left footer. Who
did you pick? Who did they pick?
Actually, call him Roy Keane.
Yeah. Left-footed tackler for me.
Yeah. 5 minutes of ramble before.
No, this is gonna be a bit of a. I'm gonna go Paolo Maldini.
Maldini was right-footed.
No, he was left-footed.
No, he's right-footed. Was he not right-footed?
No. Now I know why you're gonna say. This is it. But the thing is, when he did, it was clean as a whistle and immaculate. He only never tackled when he became a centre half. So I'm going to counter your argument. I know when he was a left back, he was a marauding left back and an absolute fantastic tackler.
I'm at the checking there on transfer market, and every player so far, I've just been keeping an eye on it. When you go into Maldini for foot, it just says both.
Yeah.
So,
but he was primarily left-footed.
I thought he was right-footed. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you could say like Zidane was both-footed and Leiden.
Yeah,
a few of them are both-footed.
Yeah. But I'm gonna stick with it. I'm not gonna be swayed because I think that's a fantastic team. Redondo,
Didn't tackle much, but whatever.
No, can you not please get into the voters' heads?
Because
you know, you're trying to get into the voters' heads. Yeah, he was a fantastic tackle.
That's your wild card. You got away with using the wrong foot player, Jock.
Shawnee, we're back to you. So 1, 2, 6 are gone. A, B, and D are gone.
So what letters do I have left?
You've got letters. You've got C, E, and F, and you've got 3, 4, and 5.
4E, please.
4D, please, Sharon.
Pointing 4Ds, please, Karen.
like the jockey.
Yeah. So you've got a right-footed shooter. The shooting ability of a right-footed player.
He's a bit of a wanker, but I'm gonna go again. He's a wanker, and I don't like him. He's a cornball. But Ibra, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
He does have a bit of a
just scoring and bangers wherever he went. AC, Inter, Juve, PSG. You know, remember that goal he scored in the Champions League for PSG, and the ball's coming across his body. Yeah. Literally hits the thing at about 200 miles an hour. Loads of people are throwing in names of the ball, but I honestly don't think that they were cleaner strikers of the ball than Zlatan. I was looking at Harry Kane because Harry Kane is an extremely clean striker of the ball, but I'm going to go with Zlatan.
Shearer wasn't bad.
Yeah, Shearer wasn't bad either.
Yeah, Shearer used to welly the football.
Some banger, Shearer.
Decent right foot on him as well.
Well, hey.
Yeah, but you look, someone saying, the overhead there, the scorpion kicks, the mad stuff he used to do. He's just, Zlatan's a mental player. Player. He's overlooked because he's
still doing it.
Yeah, exactly. He's 39, I think now.
Insane how he's still doing it. Yeah,
like he blew the knee up completely playing for United, and then he went to fucking LA for about 6 weeks and scored 26 goals. It's just a mental player, an unbelievable striker at the ball.
Chris mentioned
player who picked his teams very wisely for his career to go to total in my opinion.
Yeah,
Chris mentioning Van Basten there, but Van Basten was your complete. He was your complete striker, but I don't think shooting was per se his standout sort of best attribute. But he was your complete striker. He was elite in all forms of like attributes as a striker. Do you know what I mean? I mean, intelligence-wise, he would have been up there. If someone said right-footed intelligence, brain.
The only one I wanted. This was the only time when I wanted a left footer because I was going to go with Adriano.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
that was another one.
And it never came up, sadly.
And that's the way it goes. I mean, there's some great shouts in there as well. Shevchenko, Batistuta.
He said at the same time, football man.
Yeah, football man. No, absolute drill the ball. But you know, there's going to be a few players. There's going to be options there for others, I suppose. For shooting, Grizz and Davo still have that, so it'll be interesting to see what way they go. But yeah, it's a good shout. Zlatan, you're going with a team of bastards, Sean. I'm not going to lie. Zlatan, Ashley Cole.
Yeah, it's an extreme right. You know what I mean? The extreme right.
Adriano shooting 99. Someone just put up there. Chris Brack. That was it. When Johnny Adriano shooting 99.
Adriano and Pro Evo. It doesn't matter where you were. You just
hit it.
And look, he could go on about his story. What a tragedy! Like,
yeah.
You hear like I mentioned Zlatan, but if you read Zlatan's book, he has nearly a chapter dedicated to Adriano, just how good he was and stuff he did in training. But talk about a fella's life going down the wrong road completely. Like I think he's living in a favela now in Brazil, like, and he's in a gang. So
it's an
absolute tragedy because
Saul man passed away, I think, didn't he? In
a he went mad on the drink, like so.
But he from the favelas, wasn't he? And it's sort of he never
forgot where he came from. Yeah.
Never. And so I know some would say, yeah, don't forget where you come from, but you have to, when you're coming from places like that, you really have to try and get your head out of it and to get your career. It was a shame, you know what I mean? But look, he was a good player, well worth looking up for anyone that doesn't know about him. Davo, we're on to you now. 4, 5, 6, C, A, C, or F?
A, C, or F. I'll go for F.
Passing right footer.
Passing right footer.
Yeah.
Piss easy. That's a piss easy one. Don't be wincing at that.
Davo Seany for like Stefan Effenberg or someone else from the 90s.
No, Gerrard was the first one that popped into my head, but he'd be kind of... Yeah, Thiago. Pirlo. Gerrard, Pirlo, Thiago. I'm gonna keep it with me slightly older
80s.
team, maybe keep and go Pirlo. I'm gonna go.
I think that's a weak. I think that's a weak choice. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's a weak choice.
I would now. I'm hoping to still get who I want. So that's fine.
Yeah. So keep your powder dry.
Yeah.
I have one to talk about as well when passing is gone.
I'm telling you, Pirlo passing unbelievable, Grizz.
I think look, Pirlo's Pirlo, but you know, I don't think
literally a position called after him because he was so good.
Yeah, but that's because he was, you know, is the world of hipsters, and he came on the, you know, everyone. He grew up. He started playing in the world of.
The best passer of a ball ever has already been picked. Let me tell you. Messi's the best passer of a ball there's ever been.
Yeah. Very true. He's just not the sort of the 60-yard rake, and you know. But
you don't like the range is ridiculous. But
it's just tough call, man.
Look what Davo said.
I personally think Xavi. I think Xavi's better than Pirlo.
Pirlo's legs went and he became a better player. How does that happen? Like he was ridiculous.
Italy, Shawnee, Italy. He didn't move.
Yeah, but he done on the World Cup, Chris.
Yeah,
exactly. Position named after him, Grizz.
Fair enough. Good luck.
Cigars out through the game. Now listen, I'm gonna live. I'm more like 90. I'm like a pro Evo team. Like a pro Evo team we have here. So I'm not winning.
This is a match attacks. This is top trumps.
I tell you what, someone Owen Burke. Someone's putting a brilliant shout. Platini was some bloody passer of a football. That's a shout.
He was, as was Zidane, you know, it was already being taken. There's some great passers that are still, I think Seany still has passing to go, so we won't
delve too much into
it on them. But there's some great
wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
Alonso.
Moby.
Yeah. Some great passers, you know. But look, Pirlo's not a bad shout. He made it to Joe Hart in the World Cup when he Panenka'd him, so you know.
Worth it alone for that.
Yeah, I think he's
Owen Burke with a killer. One of my favourites as I was growing up. Glenn fucking Hoddle. As I was growing up, I used to just watch him and in awe. Like the thing, how England didn't build a team around him is just typical England. That's all I'm going to say.
One of the most aesthetically pleasing passes of a football is Trent. Some of the stuff Trent has been doing of late, it's fucking incredible as well.
That'd have been some shout.
Yeah, he's just a kid, like, you know what I mean? He's not who I'm going for. Come on, hurry up, back
to Grizz. We're going to go
Schiefo. What a show.
Enzo Schiefo.
I was thinking about him last night, Davo. I was thinking I'm gonna put him in somewhere, but let's see.
You're looking for a shooting right footer, Grizz.
Oh, a shooting right footer. I'm gonna go shooting right footer. For me, comes down to 3: Gerrard, Batistuta, and Shearer. And I'm going to go with the shooting ability of Steven Gerrard.
He's a fucking politician, isn't he?
Steven Gerrard. No. This is my favorite player. Come on. No.
Before his groin went.
No. This is my
totally
favorite.
Different, isn't it? It's a tale of two bleeding halves.
I mean, you know, every type of shot this fella had. Come on. Thunder bastards, curls, chips, ding, every type of shot. You know, this guy, and he done it at the most pressurized situations. We all know about the famous, you know, situations he's been in. Under pressure, he was phenomenal. He was an absolute machine when it comes to. Has anyone seen? Someone tried to Google a YouTube clip of him in training, or it's not training. I think he's doing a video promo. And you talk about when his groin went, Sean. This is afterwards because he's retired by now, and he's doing he's doing one of these Adidas
he was doing it with
promos or
them.
something.
He was doing it with them F2 lads. He was. That's who it was.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Just go and watch that.
You need to.
You know the one, yeah.
Yeah, Grizz, and I'll back that up for you because they've done clips with fucking you name it, and both of them said like he's the cleanest striker of the ball they'd ever seen. Like Gerrard is my footballing hero. Growing up, he was literally the only one I ever had because Liverpool were fucking crap for the majority of my life. The only light in the team was him. You know what I mean? Like some of the goals, the type of goal he scored, like you said, Grizz, he had everything in the locker. I remember the goal against it's one of his most underrated goals. He plays a 1-2 with Torres against Madrid. See his goal in the Champions League against Madrid. It's like a half volley, like
bounces up that high, and he's off the deck hitting it.
Yeah,
I love the one. I think it's that year as well in the Champions League. Very underrated. Away in Marseille, contorts his body across him. It's like he's gonna flick it to the back post, and he whips it into the top corner. That is unbelievable.
A ridiculous player.
He could be listen. You could do 2 shows about. You really could.
And like that, he could have went in as a passing player as well. His passing was ridiculous. Trent's game, it's nearly like it's copied off Gerrard's passing style as well.
Great pick, Grizz. Great pick.
Of course, Grizz gets control of the bleeding comments and he puts all his praise up.
Propaganda.
Yeah. It's bleeding terrible.
That's I tell you, Owen Burke's out there that won away to Newcastle where Lucas rolled it to him. I remember watching that live. Going, why is he shooting? He's far too far out. Like he's no chance of keeping this on target.
The one against
absolute bullet.
Yeah.
One against Middlesbrough, we chested it.
How many do we going to talk about? It's mad. Look, forget that. FA Cup final, stuff of dreams. He shoots from the halfway line on the half volley. What the fuck do you want?
What was the one?
He was insane.
The hat-trick against Everton. Remember he gets one in that game where he kind of just clips it into the back. Oh. Yeah, clips into the back stick. Steven Gerrard, fucking hell. Yeah. I don't like getting into it, but he was done dirty by that wanker Rodgers.
Yeah, I think he said himself he wanted maybe Gerrard.
Yeah, but we should have look. It just should have been one of them where you fucking just give him wherever he wants. Don't ever give him an option to play anywhere else. Like, you know what I mean?
Maybe Rodgers was an inferiority complex when it came to Gerrard. You know what I mean? He wanted to be the main man, you know. Avo's thrown in a great, that Zico or Socrates haven't been mentioned. Avo, if I was in this lineup, half the people wouldn't have heard of any of the players I'd have been picking. They'd be bleeding black and white merchants, all of them. Some of them would have played with caps on them, for fuck's sake. But as it is, I'm not picking.
Socrates comes under the passing. Oh, yeah. Majestic. Majestic.
Yeah.
Majestic.
Zico
that was the best word for Socrates, I think. Majestic.
Brian, you name it. Touch, had it all. But anyway, we're on to Shawnee now. So, Shawnee, we've got 3, 5, C or F.
3, C.
Left foot, Brian.
Left foot, Brian. Rivaldo. Jesus, Rivaldo. Fucking the stuff he saw and did in games was absolutely mental.
You could put him in any of them.
Exactly. He's one of them. Like, and a lot could be said about a lot of these players. Like, you look at Kane, could do it all. Messi, bar tackling, does it all. Gerrard covers all grounds, but Rivaldo, some of the stuff he just done was just Brazilian genius. Like the overhead, the chest,
Valencia.
The chest and the volley,
and that's just here all, and they need to win to get the Champions League.
Get to win last day of the season, you get to beat
that's some serious pressure to be doing the likes of that one.
You know what? It's
unreal.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he score against? Was it him that? No, who got the first goal against England in the World Cup 2002?
It was Rivaldo, wasn't it? Ronaldinho runs through.
And he just it was Rivaldo.
It's one of the most ridiculous passages. One of the most ridiculous passages of play I've ever seen. Just to link up the first touch. Look, if I had went right foot there, it would have been Ronaldinho.
Yeah,
I could have went with the Grizz can bleeding trump card there to being either foot there, but I'm gonna go with Rivaldo. He was absolutely magic. Like, just the first one of them Brazilians I remember like Bagsy being Rivaldo, Bagsy being,
You know what?
when
One
you're
of the
growing
things
up.
that he really suffered from was the fact that he was part of the Brazilian team with Ronaldo, and Ronaldinho then came along, and Kaká, and Rivaldo was nearly the forgotten one of the pack, and he was one of my favourite players growing up. I fucking loved him. The strike of the ball that he had as well, like it was like a narrow. He could have gone in on shooting as well, because he drilled the fucking ball as well.
Yeah.
Great
But
shout.
it's just saying you saw things in the game that like you didn't think were possible. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we go back to the overhead. Like Davo said, the pressure he would have been under in that situation, or just the ingenuity to come up with that, like absolute genius.
He was one of those strikers of the ball that didn't need a big backlift.
Yeah, he didn't hit it hard. He never hit it hard. He just hit it clean. Like,
no, but he could get some power behind it, even without sort of, you wouldn't. The goalkeepers would be it would be a shock element, like they wouldn't think that he could shoot so hard from that position, but it would suddenly be past them, or parry the shock element with him.
It was them Mizuno boots he used to wear, belt, the white tone.
yeah,
Classicals.
The only one.
But I will say he wasn't. For me, it's just personal. I know everyone's got their own opinions, whatever. He's like the Pirlo level for me in terms of he wasn't the standout of that era time for me personally. But that's just my personal preference.
He played for Barcelona at a time when they were sort of a bit shit as well. You know what I mean? Like
Van Gaal.
Van Gaal fucked them out then as well.
But that's it. He couldn't single-handedly raise them like a Messi could, or a Maradona could, or all the other players that we've mentioned can for their respective clubs. Gerrard's could. That was one thing lacking for me for Rivaldo, was his mentality. I don't think it was as strong as maybe some other players that we've mentioned.
Yeah,
some great shouts there, like Recoba,
Recoba was great.
Yeah, Ruben Sousa. He used to zing them as well.
Yeah, great player as well. There's some loads of players. I mean, I forgot.
I'm disappointed with Brian, because I think the lads have already went with Brian. Like, some players had to being left out there. Like, fucking.
There's no Brian left now. Johan Cruyff wasn't picked for Brian, lads, and
Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, them three. Like, players were now paced. You have to see the game differently to everyone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would have went with any of those. Like,
But anyway, Davo, we're on to you now. 5, 6, A and C.
I'll go 6A.
Shooting left footer.
Oh, shooting left footer. Yeah, listen, geez, we're just after been talking about a couple of them there. You could have Recoba, Sousa, Adriano. Really, the left footers. I think I'll go with Adriano, just purely like for the strike of a ball he had. It was just like you're talking about the nets coming down type of things with him. Like, really, just if he caught a clean, it was going in. That was it. It was an absolute bullet. Sean alluded to it earlier. Pro Evo shooting 99, and that wasn't being overrating him at all. That's it. That's how well he hit a ball. He was a bleeding unit as well, about 6'3",
big
15 stone, a bleeding muscle.
If you create a player, it'd be Adriano. Pace, power, skill, like literally everything.
Yeah. He was an absolute unit. He was a unit. Yeah, and look, he was one of them fellas. He shone bright only for a couple of years, and obviously, Sean, he was talking about the tragedy that he slipped away and stuff like that. But Jesus Christ, for a couple of years. What a player.
Now, I have to say again, if I was playing in this, Ferenc Puskás would have been my left-footed shooter. Ferenc Puskás, the Real Madrid and Hungarian player. I used to watch him playing back in the 50s. Yeah. But I read a book about him when I was a kid, right? And he was a little fat left-footer, and I was a little fat left-footer, I still am. And he was just a player that I absolutely loved. Obsessed with these black and white pictures, Ferenc Puskás, the galloping major, and this was when footballs weighed like a bleeding bowling ball, and boots were like off.
Wearing a pair of bleeding size 12 Timberlands, probably.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hobnailers, and his jersey was made out of a towel and all. Like, this was bleeding. These fuckers had to grind to be able to hit the ball, but this fella was bleeding ridiculous. Read up on him. Look up Ferenc Puskás, and he's bleeding award named after him for the great goals, and he's one of the greatest goal scorers of all time.
Do you know what always struck me about Ferenc Puskas never seeing pictures of him? He looks like Francie Brady, the butcher boy. He does look
like a baller, but he loved his life now. In fairness, he loved the gargle and all that, and he loved to live his life. But his goal record for Hungary was something like 85 goals and 84 internationals. It was absolutely ridiculous. His strike partner at the time, Sandor Kokšić, had something like 92 goals and 89 internationals. Hungary back in the 50s were just absolutely scandalous team. Again, a forgotten team. No one really knows about them.
Went to Wembley and hockeyed England, didn't they?
First team to go to Wembley and beat them. They played and bounced off them. And what they done was, I read this as well, it was great. They lined up right in their formation. It wasn't 4-4-2, obviously. It was a WM. And they changed then. No, but you laughing at the Christy Brown show?
Of course it is.
Let Christy take it.
True. But what the Hungarians done, it was nearly total football before total football. They cut the English out because they lined up in their formation, but they put different numbers on the jersey. So the 6 didn't line up where the 6 lines up, and the 10 was Puskas lined up somewhere else. The English couldn't deal with them at all. So it was ahead of its time. Fantastic stuff. But I won't waffle about the black and white days again. Grizz, well, back to you. Touch right footer, please.
Touch right footer.
This is the fucking back post tap in.
Go on. Give me some more clues.
It's a fucking back post tap in, Grizz, doesn't it? It's Raheem Sterling 20 a season, for fuck's sake.
No, there's a few that come to mind for me. No, there's a few that come to mind for me, you see.
This is where Pandev comes in.
I'll give you a clue. It's not Dennis Bergkamp.
We've discussed quite a few of them, but it always comes down to personal favorites. We can sort of talk about THIAGOs and etc. But for me, my personal favorite was Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
You know, what do you want to say about Ronaldinho? Throw a ball at him from any angle, any time of day, anywhere in the world, whatever. You know, it's like, you know, when you see those sort of made up adverts where the ball just falls out out of space. You know, he literally could control it if you done that to him.
It's 30 now. Like, football will die now. Messi and Ronaldo retires, in my opinion. I can't see it being the same. Never enjoyed a footballer as much as I did watching Ronaldinho.
You can't. It's all these games that have come out, right? In terms of all these PlayStation games and everything. I guarantee you, the researchers, when they were making the moves for some of the players or most of these players, would have looked at Ronaldinho because he could do those in real life. Some of the shit he could do, and obviously we've said Zidane. One of you guys picked Zidane for touch, but this is the only guy that rivals him and probably beats him. I don't know, because he could control it with any part of his body as well. That's the fucking mad thing. Whatever was legal, he would be able to control it with that part of the body at any pace. Give him at any time, anywhere on the pitch. Phenomenal player, entertainer. Could do it like sort of while he's smoking a cigar type thing, everything. Brilliant.
He used to do elasticos in every bleeding game, didn't he?
I used to watch him to see what he'd invented in the week that I hadn't seen him play last. You know, he could invent stuff.
Got a standing ovation in the Bernabeu that time, like the Madrid fans for just basically clapping on. This is absolutely scandalous, like what he's doing here.
And you never see that.
Remember the goal at Chelsea?
Yeah.
Swivel, boom. Yeah. No backlift, get in there, you little beauty. Owen Burke said, Grizz, Philip Billing and Gordon Pandev have been left on the table. It must have been
they just miss out. Yeah, they just miss out this time round. It's not.
2 left footers as well. You know, you were panicking and scampering for left footers, and there's 2 that you've missed out on. But anyway, Grizz's team is complete. We'll give a rundown in a minute. Shawnee, you've got a passing right footer.
Yeah, to tap in for me, Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, shoot.
Nah.
Left foot, right foot. Just absolutely unbelievable. Like, to get in that Spain team, to be a linchpin in that Spain team with the midfielders that they had, and he done it off both feet. Like, even at Liverpool, we didn't even see it so much. Not until it is kind of 08, 09 is when we really seen him in that more deep line role. And he was just spraying balls around for fun. And then he went to Madrid and was doing it for fun. Now, people are saying poor choice, Johnny. I don't know many right-footed better passes of the ball.
Let me just put it up.
And Xabi Alonso. Who?
Legend. Well,
yeah.
I suppose
I don't know.
Like, have THIAGO, Xavi.
THIAGO's better. I would have chosen. Now that he's chosen it, oh yeah, he is.
No, I don't think so.
It's personal choice, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly.
Preference. There's some great passes of the ball.
One thing that I would say, Sean, you going back to like the Rafa time and you go to games at Anfield, the one thing or one of the huge things used to stand out was how well he struck a ball. He'd be zinging balls around Anfield. You could hear the sound off it. Yeah. Just when he was pinging it, it was unbelievable. He was like really stand out at that time.
And then he goes and does it at Barca then as well when he's like, Bayern. He was born and like. The pass to Ozil in one of the Clásicos is to Ronaldo, one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. He doesn't even lift his head, and it's off both feet. So we're just talking about a right-footed pass here. Thiago's a good passer of the ball. Doesn't deal with both feet, Grizz. Doesn't zing 60, 70 yards both feet. Thiago's a great man for hitting it out into space. Alonso's giving fucking fullbacks haircuts when Thiago was in La Masia. Xabi Alonso, I'm biased here because he's my favourite player of all time.
Yeah. No, I can tell.
Could have had Trent.
Trent is incredible. I think Trent's a better passer of the ball than Thiago.
Huge
it's worth the conversation.
Thiago, we wax lyrical about Thiago. Thiago makes everything look great with the little mouse, the little flick and the little whip he puts on everything. He makes everything look... He spit shines every pass, you know what I mean? Sort of like... But just
you look at Marcelo as well as fullbacks. The way fullbacks are gone the game, Marcelo's pass, and he'd be similar to Trent on the left hand side. Yeah, some of them passes they ping from the sides, half volleys. They're fucking out with it.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd have Marcelo over Roberto Carlos. Like that's sort of the way I look at it. Do you know what I mean? That's my idea. You know what I mean?
Sebastian Veron was some passer. Veron was some passer.
Veron's a great passer of the ball. He's a great brain as well. Great brain, great coach.
Absolutely wasted at United.
Yeah, England ruined him. United and Chelsea stunk the gaff out at the two of them. And
do you know who else? Right foot, and I didn't get to use him, and I was going to use him for Brian and passer. The best player England's ever produced.
Gaza.
Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney passing of a ball was next level.
What else were you going to put him in for?
I was going to put him in for Brian. He's best football and Brian I've ever seen. Pure football and Brian.
When you talk about if you wanted an English player for Brian, there was no one better than Gaza. No one. Gaza was so fucking good and clever. Yeah. You know,
I don't think he was clever. I think he was very instinctive and he done it.
But on the football pitch, Keith, it's football intelligence.
It's still brain. It's still intelligence. There's different types, isn't there? Like Gaza wasn't the sort of
but you look, remember fucking Rooney as an 18-year-old bursting onto the scene at United, and that was Rooney's problem. Was he was so good from a young age that when he got older, his legs were gone. Like very similar to Fabregas, they just weren't able. They played top-level football for too long.
I remember seeing Johnny the FAU Cup final because Wayne Henderson was playing in goal for Villa that time, the Irish keeper. And Villa battered them. I think it was 7-2 on aggregate or 7-3. But Rooney was the standout player in the games. He was scored. I think he scored 3 over the 2 legs. One of them was about 35 yards into the top corner.
People saying Gaza had no. Gaza had no. What's the word I'm looking for? No durability in it. How long was good? How good?
Listen, my mate follows Spurs and he's a couple of years older than me now, like 4 or 5 years, and he reckoned around 89-ish time he was in with a show for being the best player in the world.
Longevity. For
longevity. Well, he didn't.
No, nothing. Nothing.
Still as he candle.
was a head case.
Soon as he done that tackle on Gary Charles in the cup semi-final and the cup final, that was it. His career was basically like. Obviously,
you look at Rooney. Like Rooney's playing centre mid for Derby now in the Championship. Still, like, he went and played centre mid for Everton a couple of years ago, and was still zinging balls around the place. Yeah. Like, Manchester United's all-time league and goal scorer in a team that had Tevez, Ronaldo, Berbatov, all of them. He outlasted them all. Van Nistelrooy. And you used to see, I hate United with a passion, but it used to kill me because I loved watching Wayne Rooney play football, dropping deep, spinning out, pinging balls 60, 70 yards. I think he's the best English player ever. Him and Gerrard are the two best English players ever for me.
Worth a shout. Why not? Davo, we're going to round it off now with a left-footed header of the ball for you.
Oh, left-footed header, Jesus!
you've had some rough.
That's a difficult one. That one, left-footed header of a ball.
Oh, I've just thought of someone. Oh.
Left-footed header of a ball.
Italian.
Oh, do you know what? Do you know what? I think I don't know if we're thinking about the same one, but I was Italian. For heading, normally you would go Italian, and I'll probably go Chiellini.
Oh,
I think when backs to the wall, balls into the box. I think you had that a couple of years ago at Wembley against Spurs in the Champions League. They were under the Kosh balls coming in, and he was absolutely top draw.
This is who I went for.
Was Christian Vieri? Christian Vieri was
he was very good in the air. But I'm gonna go.
Chiellini's a monster.
I'm gonna go Chiellini. Definitely.
It's a good shout, and it's good. We're gonna run through the teams now, because one thing I'll say about Davo's team, these all played with baggy jerseys in the 1990s. There's no bleeding skin tight gear on any of these. And there'll be a bit of Googling to be needed for someone. But we'll run through Grizz's team. Redondo for passing, the brain of Messi, the heading ability of Raul Hulle, the tackling of Paolo Maldini, who never got a short 30, so I think that's a controversial one. The shooting of Stevie G, ever the politician, and the touch of Ronaldinho. I'm not going to lie, Grizz, it's a good team.
Probably the ugliest team, Bob Maldini.
No, a good player. We have to get away from team. It's the player, the makeup of the player.
That's some makeup of a player, lads. Come on, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Shawnee has the heading of Cristiano Ronaldo, the touch of Diego Maradona, the brain of Rivaldo, the shooting of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the passing of Xabi Alonso, and the tackling of Ashley Cole. That's a player as well now. I'm not going to lie. That's a very spicy one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And it's a popular vote as well. That's great. Worried about that. And
no, not worried.
For nostalgia's sake, back when Emmerdale used to be called Emmerdale Farm, Davo's team has the brain of Georgie Hadji, the tackling of Roy Keane, the touch of Zidane, the passing of Pirlo, the heading of Chiellini, and the shooting of Adriano. So that's
not bad.
When you look back, that's not bad at all.
That's the winner for me.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Makeup of a player.
As he was going through there, I was thinking, okay, he sneakily just sneaked up on us there with a fucking team there. Or player there, sorry. Yeah.
Who's moderating the chat? I'm not going to have this blasphemer from Rajiv Kumar anymore on Xabi Alonso. I'm just not going to have it.
I'm with you, Shawnee, on Xabi Alonso.
I'm not having it. Ridiculous. And you know what? The politician there in top right corner shiting me down there at the fucking fuck because he saw that's a shout. Look at him. Everything underline, undermine, and you're a bollocks, Grizz. You're a bollocks.
You got to do what you got to do.
I think Keith's shout about Maldini on Grizz's team is a good shout. I'm not sure about that tackling one, Keith.
It needs to be. I think it needs to be taken into account.
Yeah, the tackler who never tackled.
I'm very surprised that you football not knowing about Maldini when he was at left back and how tenacious he was in the tackle.
Grizz,
Didn't just be an opportunity. 28 games without conceding a goal in that man team. No one fucking attacked them.
I'm just being opportunist, Grizz. If I had a count to me, I
would do the same, mate.
As well. I'd have picked Maldini as well, I'd say. But
yeah, fair enough. Baresi, did anyone get a right foot tackler? No. Baresi, fucking some ferocious tackler there.
Yeah, mate. Kenny Dalglish didn't get a look in anywhere.
No. Neither did Cruyff, to be fair.
Frank Souness for tackling didn't get a mention either.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think Do you know what? If the nations would have been good, Keith, because it would have forced.
I think so. It would have been an interesting one. And do you know what? Avi Hunter, who's usually in the chat there, threw in a thing about Ivan De La Pena into Twitter the other day, and I went down a De La Pena rabbit hole. Now there's a passer of the ball that nobody remembers.
Oh, no, I'm thinking
little Buddha.
Little Buddha, right?
I'm thinking of I was thinking for your man that played for Madrid, his career ended short. Ruben De La Red.
Oh yeah, no, De La Pena. De La Pena was the player Ronaldo said was the best player that he's ever seen or played with. Ivan De La Pena had 1 year with him at Barcelona in '95.
Who said about him?
Ronaldo, R9.
Oh, really?
The best player he's ever played with or seen. Ivan.
Yeah, but didn't he say? Who did he say? He said some Stockholm was his favourite strike partner, didn't he? Who was it? Playing from my PSV. Who was it? Let me pull it up here.
Luke Nillis, was it?
Luke Nillis. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah. He said he was the best striker he played with.
Luke Nillis, intelligent. I'm telling you, very intelligent.
Good player, awful injury.
He got. I was going to say he got a mad injury, didn't he, when he came?
Yeah, knee and all. It was got mangled against.
But guys, you know, the likes of Cruyff didn't get a shout. Van Basten didn't get into this. Seedorf. I mean, he's got every attribute. Well, George Best. See, no one. I'm very surprised Gavin Keefe didn't select dribbling as one of the attributes. You know,
we'd be here.
That'd have been Gaza and George Best in for the dribbling, Grizz.
Messi, Maradona, you know,
Harry Kane.
Hardy Kane. He edit these videos now.
Jan Wouters.
But there's loads of names. That's the beauty of these shows. The chat does be hopping. And look, thanks for joining us tonight, lads. It was great. And they did throw loads of names. There's Owen Burke's been throwing them in all night. Juan Carlos Valleron, great player as well. Another Spaniard that could just ping balls around. It was a good era for them. Lads, the teams have been picked. We're going to put it to the vote on the Twitter channel. We'll put the players have been picked. We'll put it to the vote. We'll make it up that people can vote in and see who the best player would be out of that group. It's going to be tight. I think when you look at it and we've run through it all, I think it's going to be tight. You know, like we said, Grizz, the politician, has gone for what he's gone for. Seany has gone with one that's trying to ruffle a few feathers, and Davo was snuck in with a little bleeding sneaky team in the
on the rail, just coming up the rail.
Yeah, I like what you've done. So look, we'll do that. Before we go, lads, I just want to let the listeners know that premiering tonight at 12 midnight, a special LFC Daytrippers drop. Gav is going to be playing in the Masters and see how he gets on versus the Golfing Elite. I think this is on the Xbox or something. I don't know what he's going to be.
Is that the game he was playing last night?
I think so, yeah.
With the fucking graphics. What's the story with the graphics? It's like bleeding Lee Carvello's putting challenge out of Simpsons. They're bleeding awful.
Take her up with the boss man. He's going to be online at 12 bells.
Don't get me started on Gavin graphics.
Uber critic Grizz.
Scotland qualified on penalties, lads, just for the LA. And Andy Robbo lovers. We all are.
Hungarian lads, I think, qualified as well.
Yeah, they won 2-1. Northern Ireland were beaten.
Or something he scored.
Your man is playing for them, isn't he? Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai. He scored in the 92nd minute tonight.
He's going to Leipzig, I seen the other day.
He's not, is he?
Yeah, he's going to Leipzig. Yeah, and there was something being written about it that he's going, but he's only gone for like 16 million quid or something like that. They were talking about being
I'll tell you what,
value and stuff like that.
He'll be in the passing categories in 10 or 15 years. I reckon he
looks the part there, right, doesn't he?
Going to be some player.
He's going to Leipzig, seemingly.
Yeah, but that's always the path, isn't it? Salzburg to Leipzig, and then Leipzig will do the big deal when they're playing.
Yeah, well, look, it'd be a fucking perfect opportunity for us to become the next stepping stone for a club like that, wouldn't it? Like, there's talk of the Haaland now and others and fucking Minamino, Keita, so hopefully.
It'll be interesting. Watch this space. So join Gav on the Atari 2600 when he plays the Masters against fucking Jack Nicklaus or fucking
Arnold Palmer.
Arno Parma. Fucking Jane Sardison.
Well, there you go. My money's on Gav. I think he can do it, but it'll be a bit of crack, and it's well worth tuning in for anyone that's up late that's into the old golf, the time of year that it's on and all that. If it's not doing it for you on the telly, you might think Gav is the better option. So yeah, join him at 12 o'clock for that. Boys, thanks for joining us tonight. It was a bit of crack, just something to do during the international break. I enjoy doing these little things. We might do another one on the next break. We'll think of something, throw in a few more little grenades to ruffle Grizz's feathers. But Grizz, pleasure having you.
No problem, man. Really enjoyed that. Thank you for not stitching me up this time.
Not at all. Shawnee, a stalwart of these shows as well. Thank you
Cheers,
very much.
Keith, for your unbelievable nuggets on South American football. Has me mind blown here every time.
I tell you, every
time.
I really do. Big fan. And Davo, your first time on one of these. Won't be your last. You've done yourself a solid.
Enjoy it, lads.
I'm going to throw it out here. People's champ. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Davo had the best team, in my opinion. I'm going to be voting by him myself, I think.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I think I made an unwise decision by bringing Davo in. I knew he'd be good, but I didn't know he's going to be this good. I'm a bit worried.
Beginner's luck. Wait till the next time you have me on. I'm talking absolute shy as usual.
If Slackline Egypt in the comments thinks he's winding me up, then he's absolutely right. Take it easy, lads.
But listen, we've been the Daytrippers, a little fun midweek fix, and we'll see us all again soon.